So let's go ahead and talk about a simple workflow and creating an album, identifying and sharing. So example, let's go to my gallery. I already have photos uploaded just so I could give a nice example today. If you were to want to bring in and start uploading, you could simply click the blue upload button on the right-hand side, upload gallery, select your files from your computer. Very easy to do that. You can also drag them and bring them in. A couple of other things, you can go and do a Facebook import if you want to bring in all of your Facebook photos, which is a good idea because we put our best photos on Facebook. However, when you put your photos on Facebook, the first thing they do is reduce the resolution of your photos so that they're very, very small. You can bring them into Forever to be able to see them, but I would recommend if you have the original photos, you want to bring those into your Forever account because you want to keep the resolution of the photos and not just have a screenshot resolution. You want the full res file. And I will tell you another benefit with Forever is whatever you upload in Forever, whatever resolution, you download in that resolution as well. That's a key feature because many of these other companies are going to suppress your photo and make it smaller when you upload it into their site, and Forever does not do that. All right, you can also see what supported formats you can bring in of the photos, documents, videos, and audio files. And lastly, you can click right here to prevent duplicates. Now, a word on duplicates. A duplicate, a true duplicate, means that it is the exact same photo as mentioned in the metadata. So even if to your eye, it looks like the same photo, but it was actually taken in two different photo shots, that means that the metadata would be different. So it will not bring in duplicates if you have this turned on. Okay, so that's one way to bring things into Forever. If you have things living on your phone, the best way is to use the Forever app. And I have another training for you of the best way to bring in photos from your phone, because many of us take photos of lots of things like price tags, shoes, food, all of that. And we don't necessarily want that in our Forever account. So I have tips and tricks for you on how to do that. Essentially, it's bringing in just your favorites and favoriting all the photos that you want to bring in with a heart, and then grabbing just the favorites. Some people are super organized and want to just back up their phone photos and bring them all into the Forever account. And there's an option for that too. All right, so that's a simple way to upload. Once you do that, you're going to have everything right here in your gallery. And then it's time to start curating if you'd like. That's part of my workflow, but I don't necessarily always do that. It just depends on the time that I have. But let's go ahead and do a couple of things. So here are some photos that I recently brought in to my Forever account. And let's just start with creating an album to tell a story from my daughter's birthday. So I'm just going to simply select all of these photos, the ones that were from her birthday. I click the first one, hold the shift key down, click the last one, and then click organize. I'm going to add to an album. I'm going to create a new album. And personally, I'm just going to start my album with the year. And then I'm going to say Liza's 23rd birthday. Why did I have a hard time remembering that? I don't know. I could add an album description if I wanted. I'll say we went to a candle light concert. It was beautiful for her birthday. Okay, so the nice thing is I can add anything I want in this album description. I can even add a date or a date range if I want to, but I typically don't do that. And then I can set a privacy setting. So I can make this album private just for me. No one else could see it. I can make it public. So that means it would be searchable on Google. I could make it available to the people that I'm connected with in my Forever account. We'll talk about that in a future training, but we invite people into our Forever account to see only the things that are marked for connections. Okay, so mainly in my Forever account, it's just my family, some close friends. And then I could also share with specific groups, which would mean if I wanted to share photos with the football team, but I don't necessarily want the football team to see my ancestors' photos. So I can make a group for the football team. And then I simply just click add to new album. Okay, so I just made one album, and I'm going to make one more album. I'm going to call this, let's select this photo, select the last photo, and create another album. Simply add to album, new album, a year. Again, this is just how I'm organizing it. Doesn't have to be like that for you. And then I'm going to say trip to Louisville. I went to Louisville, where my family lives, celebrated a birthday or two. Okay, just keep that simple. And I'm going to keep it private for right now, but I'll show you how I'm going to change that later and add that to the new album. Okay, so I can continue doing that if I want to, or I can just leave things in the library and I don't necessarily need to be putting them into albums. But let's go to the album page and I'm going to search for albums. So I'm going to put my daughter's name in, Liza, and you can see all these albums that come up for Liza. So this would be a great way for me to go find something for Liza if I wanted to. It's a great way to search for subjects and for topics and things like that. But now I need to go find the album I just made and I don't see it. So I'm going to put Liza 23 because it's her 23rd birthday. And, oh, wow, look how many things come up. Oh, here it is. Okay. There we go. So now that I have the album here, I can, again, hit the edit details button and I can add more to the description if I want to. I can change the privacy setting if I want to. And then the other thing I can do is I can put a cover photo on here that I would like. So I'm going to put this one on since it's the two of us. Click that one. It's my favorite one. And I'll hit make the cover. Okay, there we go. So now I have made the cover album, the cover of that album. And the other thing I'm going to do is I want to nest this in an album for my 2025 photo. So I haven't done that yet since it's January, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then I can begin placing all the albums of certain activities under 2025. Again, you can organize however you want to organize in your Forever account. You can organize by year, by subject, whatever it might be. You saw in the beginning that I showed you my family reunion pictures, and I had all of our trips under that one album. So I do by subject. Sometimes I do things by year. This is one I want to do by year. I could put this album under her birthdays if I wanted to, but I'd rather just do it by year. All right, so since I'm going to keep this in an album called 2025, I need to go create that album. So I'm going to go back to my albums page. I'm going to add an album and I'm going to call it 2025 Memories. Create. If I want to go to that album at the bottom, I can click View Album, and now I'm in this album. It's empty, okay? But I'm going to start placing in here all the memories and different albums from the year that are important. So if you look on the left-hand side, albums are sorted alphabetically and also numerically. So as you can see, the Liza 23rd birthday, since it's 2025, is right before this album. So I'm going to click on the Liza birthday. And then I'm going to go over to the right-hand side, the three dots, and I'm going to say move this album. Then I'm going to go find the 2025 album that I just created, and I'm going to scroll down until I come up to 2025 Memories and click there. Now you can see that in 2025 Memories, I have one album. I can click on that album to see all of the photos. Now, I'm going to go do that with the other album that I created. So let's go back to albums. Let's search for 2025. I think I called it Louisville. Okay, here it is. So now I can move this one. Click the three buttons, move the album, and scroll down to 2025 Memories and place it in there. Look on the left-hand side, and you can see here's 2025 Memories. And we've got Liza's birthday, and we have the trip to Louisville. Okay, so now I'm curating those things. Okay, let me show you another example of something else I would do kind of one step further. Let's go to trip to Louisville. And you can see I did a couple of things here. So first thing is I had a wedding. So I'm going to select all of those photos. I'm going to hit organize and bulk organize. I want to add a description to all of those photos. And I'm just going to say best friends from college days. Jill's daughter, Lily, was married to a wonderful young man. Oopsie, John. Okay, there we go. And then I can add tags if I want to. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I have a tag called Jams that is kind of an abbreviation for my college friends. So there will be tagged all of those as well. And one other thing is I am not going to edit the file name. I never, ever recommend changing the file name. Just from an organizing perspective, you want every file name to be individualized and, its own name. You do not want the file name to be changed. We wouldn't want to name all of these photos the same thing, like, Lily's wedding. We want to keep the file names as is. So if I hit save changes, now you can see that on the right-hand side, we've got a tag and I have a description for each of these photos all together. Okay, now those were for the wedding. And now I'm going to click here for a curate this birthday surprise for my dad. So back to bulk organize, add description, surprise 80th birthday for my dad. Okay, and then I'm going to add a tag, and I'm going to add this tag for my dad's name. And let's see. Did I do that? Yep, there we go. Ted Ogle. Okay, and then save the changes. All right, so look at this cute sign. Oh, how time flies. Okay, so that's tagged. The description is in there, and I have all of these photos. Okay, very good. All right, so now one other key piece. We would like to have a photo right here, right, on the 2025 memories. So the question that we get often is, how do I make cover photo for the main album? We understand how to make a cover photo for the nested albums, but the main album wants a photo too. So this is how you do it. You basically need to have a photo in the 2025 memories album. Right now, we only have albums within that album. So we need to get a photo in here too. So let's go to our gallery and let's pick a photo that we want to use. We're going to, pick a good one, pick like a best one that we really love. All right, let's pick this one for a nice photo for the year. So I'm going to select, click organize, and I'm going to add to an album. So if I click add to an album, now I get to go scroll down and find what album I want to add it to, and I'm going to add it to 2025 memories. So now if I click on albums and I go search for 2025 memories, you can see here that this album comes up, and now we have a nice photo for the cover, and then we have two nested albums underneath that. And I want to show you one other tip and trick here that is important. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to move this photo for whatever reason. I want to take this photo and put it in a different album. Okay, so if I click on this photo and move it to another album, then it's going to be moved out of this album. So I don't necessarily want to take it out of this album, but I might want to add it to another album as well. So your photos can be in multiple albums. It doesn't need to just be in one album. But I just want I want to clarify here the difference between adding to an album and moving to an album. So again, I can take this photo and add it to an album. I can scroll down. Let's go back down here to our 2025 example that we're doing. Here it is. And let's say I want to put it in the other album I created with the birthdays in Louisville. So if I click on the right-hand side, the black button here to see those 2 nested albums. Okay, so here are my 2 nested albums. Let's say I want to add it to the trip to Louisville album. Okay, great. So now if I go back to my memories, each of these albums has that photo in it. So there it is in this album. And here it is in this album. Okay. Now let's just say, let's take a look at that. So here's the photo. And on the right-hand side, you can see in the bottom, it's in 2 albums. You can also see with the facial recognition that they're named under people, but they're in 2 albums. Let's just say I want to delete it from one album. I can click the right-hand side and remove from album. It didn't delete the photo. It just means that the photo is only in that other album now. So here it is. And this time, I want to just show you, I could also move it. Instead of adding it to an album and having it in 2 albums, I can move it out of this album, go all the way back down to 2025 Memories, move it to this album, and now it's out of this album and in the other album. Okay, so I just want you to understand that fact and feature because it's really important. All right, the last thing I want to show you in this video is sharing. So now we've created an album and now we want to share it. There are several different sharing mechanisms. One is through connections, as I mentioned, that people can be connected with you in your Forever account to see the things that you've marked for connections, but I'm not going to dig into that one today. That one will be for another day. What I do want to show you is the share link. Top right-hand side, I can share this album link with anyone by simply copying and pasting this link. So I copy it and now I can go paste it in an email, a text message. I can paste that anywhere. I also could download a QR code if I wanted to print it and have somebody scan it to be able to see these photos, or click here to simply send an email. Now, one other wonderful, amazing feature is, let's just say there was other people at Liza's 23rd birthday and they had photos on their phone that they wanted to give to me and to upload for me or into this album. I can click right here, and this means that anyone that receives this link will be able to upload their own photos right into my album. This is a huge, amazing feature. This is something that I do for all of our family vacations when people are with us and everybody's taking photos on their phone. This is a way to save all the photos together in one location with the full resolution. Notice when you text message photos to each other or you email photos, it's losing resolution every time it's sent. So if you send it one time, it loses resolution, send it again, it loses more resolution, and your photo is just breaking down every time you send it. If you upload into the Forever storage account, it's going to keep the full resolution, and then it can be shared and easily accessed with everyone. And the key is sharing and copying this link, and they'll be able to only see these things. And one thing that's really neat that they can see is, we didn't even cover this, but this album has a video in it too. And so I can play that. And when I share it, they're going to be able to play and watch this video as well. Because I have video streaming on this account. If you don't have video streaming on the account, they won't be able to press play and watch it. They would have to download it to watch it. Also, when they receive your link, they will have an option to watch a slideshow, to be able to watch all of your videos and photos play together in a slideshow, which is an amazing feature as well. So this is just one example of how to use Forever as a workflow to be bringing in your best photos, curating them, telling stories, and sharing them, and then just keeping them organized in your Forever account. So once you start creating these albums, you'll begin having this beautiful mosaic of photos and stories and memories from your ancestors all the way up to current days, as you can see here in my albums page. So stay tuned for the next in our series of curating your family memories within a Forever storage account. Thank you.